Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is brought to you by the Friends in Recovery community, a thriving network of individuals who are fighting back against the stigma of addiction. Join our hosts as they speak up about the real issues of addiction, treatment, and recovery. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, here are your Friends in Recovery.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Friends in Recovery podcast with Jersey Ed. I'm your host, Jersey Ed, along with my co-host today, Super Beth. What's up, Beth? How are you today?
I'm good. It's beautiful out. It's starting to cool off up here.
Yeah, you're in Jersey. It's cool down here too in South Carolina. But it's I'm doing well. I love doing this show. We're doing it a little different today, so at a different time, and we're trying to figure out a good time to do the show. But I am kind of what am I? I'm kind of in the middle of a whole bunch of things here, right? Like I'm going to speak in 2 weeks. With the new job. Hey, check this out. Bright Life.
Oh, that's right. Bright Life.
With the new job. I love it. It's a great, I'm having an amazing time there and doing wonderful things. So there's a lot of good things in my life. And you know why, Beth? It's because of these steps in my life, because of my sponsor, because I got sober. I'm serious. That's the only reason why. And, so I gave you the long answer of how I'm doing. I could go back and start telling my story if you want. God. Go ahead.
What are we going ahead? What are we doing?
No, I said go ahead. I didn't know if you were talking or not.
Oh no, I just I agree with you. Everything I have today is because of God, right? Mm-hmm. And the steps bring me to God. So, or higher power. Listen, I'm going to say God.
Yeah, you can say it.
Power exists in every cell of the universe. So,
yeah,
that's most people's impression of God.
Yes, I agree with you. You're allowed to say God on here. Oh God. Well, guys, that's all. That's all we have on Tradition 10. Everybody take care and have a great day. Obviously the show is going to be about Tradition 10 today, guys, because it is the last Tuesday of the month. And we will be talking about Tradition 10. But before that, I would like to just give you some numbers. If you're struggling, if you're having a hard time, if anything's going on, if you want to just talk, or if you want to find out about our meetings, you want to hear my story, Beth's story, just give a call to the podcast hotline. It's 800-989-6504. And we will answer that phone, and we will be more than happy to help you, guide you, direct you into whatever you need. Because Beth also works for a treatment center. So both of us can help you, right?
Yep.
Okay, good.
The Milestone House and Excel treatment, and just reaching out. I'm actually on site today.
There you go.
It's good to be here. I love being here.
And I think Mike is in the room with you, right, Mike?
Is Mike Frank is back. Oh no, he disappeared.
Well, he was on the show anyways. We don't need him back on. Yeah. No, we love Mike. So shout out to Mike. So and if you want to email us about we're talking too much, we're not, whatever it is, you love us, whatever it is, help at friendsinrecoverypodcast.com. And we're still looking for that intern. Tell us about that Bambi. Bambi's not here. What's wrong?
Bambi's not feeling well today.
I know. She's not feeling well today, guys. So she got a fever, and she called out. She called out of the show.
Which is crazy because she must really not be feeling well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. 100%. She would not miss that. So I'd like to not miss this. I'd like to thank all the donors who make this show possible. We really appreciate it. Without your donations, we couldn't do this show. And speaking of donations, if you have money in your pocket that you want to put into the Friends in Recovery's bank account, you can do that by Venmoing us at Friends in Recovery Enterprises under business, or Cash App. I believe it's $ Friends in Recovery. And make it from $1 to whatever you want to do. Just every little bit helps for us to keep this this podcast and these meetings going. We really appreciate your donations. And also you can do it the old way, which we get checks every once in a while. You can send a check to Friends in Recovery Enterprises, P.O. Box 1551, Johns Island, South Carolina, 29457. And Beth, did you know that we are part of the F.I.R.E. network?
F.I.R.E. network? What's that?
I have no idea. I'm still trying to figure it out, but we are part of it somehow, some way. But no, it's F.I.R.E. network is a network of podcasters and anybody who has some form of social media in recovery. We're placing for free on our webpage, and we are opening it up so people can listen to more podcasts, or I think there's an app on there that Carl was talking about. There's all kinds of things in recovery on there. So if you want more information on that, email Carl at info@soberpod.com, or again, you can email me at help@friendsinrecoverypodcast.com. This week's topic is Tradition 10. So stay tuned for some amazing recovery, guys. We got this under control, and we're going to get it under control, Beth, by you using the big book and me with the 12 steps and 12 traditions. That's it. There it is, the big book. Sober shout outs. Any sober? You give Mike a sober shout out. Why not?
Give Mike Frank a sober shout out. Mike Frank, who is the owner and the founder of the Milestone House and Excel Treatment Centers, is literally the most altruistic human like I've ever met.
Absolutely.
Like all time, day or night, he is always there. He always wants to give people another chance. Even when I'm like, I'm done. He's like, no, man, we're gonna help. We're gonna keep helping.
Absolutely. So, Mike, thank you for everything you do. I have the pleasure to know Mike from, God, it has to be 20 some years now, give or take, somewhere around there, and if not more. And I remember when he opened Milestone. I remember all that. And so keep up the great work, Mike. You're doing amazing stuff up there. My shout out today is to Soberpod, right? To Carl and Chelsea on Soberpod. And you're asking why? Why Soberpod? Why just like out of the blue? Why, right? You're probably wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah, wondering why. Well, Ryan Dusick, the drummer from Maroon 5, was on their last show. Like, what the fuck? How did he get this guy, Ryan, from the drummer from Maroon 5? And yeah. I got to tell you, man, it's pretty good too. You got to listen to it, everybody. Finish listening to this show, then click over to the left and go listen to Soberpod. It's an amazing interview. Carl and Chelsea do a great job. So I never give Soberpod a shout out on Sober Shout Outs, but this one I had to give because of the wonderful job that they did. So check it out on soberpod.com and wherever you get your podcast from. And don't forget our twice daily Zoom meetings are on AA. If you go to aa.org, you can find us under the Zoom stuff. It's 12 and 7 p.m. Eastern time. And check out our website, friendsinrecoverycommunity.com. Our podcasts are on there. Everything's on there. And look for us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, and all those other grams, whatever else we're on. Friends in Recovery Communities and Adventures. Just kind of look for us in that. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Give us a 5-star review because that gets a show out. It gets everything out. So here it is. Question of the week. Right? Question of the week.
Question of the week.
We got through that pretty quick, even though we gave Mike a shout out. We got through that rather quickly.
Love it.
We're going to be done in 10 minutes.
Wait till I start talking about Tradition 10.
Exactly. Oh yeah, at least somebody's going to talk about Tradition 10 here. So the question of the week is there a smell or a scent that you do not like? A smell or scent you do not like, other than garbage or the dog taking a shit in the backyard or
I don't like either of those scents.
no, but like a scent that's like a normal human being scent. Human being scents you may not like. This question is going sideways really quick here.
It's okay. Sideways is normal for people like us.
Yes, exactly. Yes. I just want to real quick before you answer that question. I just want to say hello to Beth. No, that's you. You're on here. I thought it was our other Beth. John L. and Pam L. are on. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us on Facebook Live. We appreciate it. Yes, we are on a different day today, but we're doing it. We're doing tradition 10. So I'm going to read tradition. Oh no,
I'm going to do it.
No, but we have to answer the question of the day. Oh my God. See, Bambi's not here and we're all thrown off.
We're falling apart. It's Bambi. Bambi is the glue that holds.
Bambi is the glue. Yes. We're just a frailing pieces that go in the wind and she glues us together. Yep. All right. So is there a scent or smell you don't like and why? And everybody on Facebook Live. Oh, alcohol. John says alcohol. Ooh, never even thought about that one. Yes. I agree, John. I never thought of it either.
So a smell, I don't know if it's a smell or if I'm just associating because I can't stand the taste of it. And that would be cilantro.
It's see, that's a hard one.
I can smell it. You either like it or you hate it. And it's genetic, I found out.
Oh, really?
Yep, it's genetic if you love or hate. They say that people that are genetically different say that it tastes soap and it smells awful to me. It's literally just the worst. It makes me want to throw up. So
really? Okay. So I like cilantro. I don't see it. So some people says it tastes like stink bugs. I don't know if you guys know what stink bugs are out there, but when you crush one, they fucking stink really bad. That's not my smell, but do you when you smell it, is it smell like soap?
No, soap smells good. It tastes like soap, but it smells like it literally like, you ever see those videos of cats that smell something and then like throw up? That's how I feel.
Yeah.
How I feel when I smell.
Okay. All right.
How about you?
So my thing is I hate rosemary. I hate it. I hate the smell of it. I hate rosemary is horrible. My mother-in-law buys rosemary plants every time we're out, probably to piss me off. And it's in the back of the car. And it's like, what is going on here? Right. Pam agrees with you on the cilantro stuff.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yes. There's a lot of people out there that don't like cilantro. I'm not sure if there's a lot of people that don't like the smell of,
rosemary.
Yeah, I know. Well, here's why. So I was in Las Vegas a long time ago. So I was sober. I was at a conference. I was deathly sick. I had a stomach. I was probably the first person to get COVID 20 years ago. Okay. I had a stomach virus. I had a head cold. I had a sore throat, aches, pains, all that stuff. But that doesn't stop me from going on a run that morning, getting my coffee that morning. It just doesn't stop me. Right. So I'm walking through the Hilton, right, to go out to the Strip. And I don't know if any of you guys been out to Las Vegas, but they have those big, tall rosemary bushes out there. Like they're ornamental rosemary bushes, and they smell like rosemary. I don't know if you can use them. I have no idea. But as I was walking through to get through, it was this long line of rosemary bushes. I started smelling. I got sick and I threw up in the rosemary bushes at the Hilton in Las Vegas.
Wow.
And I hate the smell now. I hate the smell. I hate the taste of it. I can't stand it. So
I get that. I do get that. I got food poisoning from olives like a million years ago.
Oh my God.
Still don't eat olives.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you get sick from something, it's so, but I'm going to have to agree with John, Beth, that alcohol is not a good smell. And I don't think did you ever like the smell of alcohol?
It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't
bother me.
Okay.
Still doesn't bother me.
No, you mean you can smell it? It's not a problem?
Nope, not a problem. I'm actually grateful that it has like that smell because I'm like, oh, I'm not supposed to have that. No, not for me.
I like that. Yeah, that's a smell I cannot have.
Yes.
I love that. I love how you turn that around.
And I will break out handcuffs.
Oh, it happens. It could happen.
Could happen.
So anyways, that's our question of the week, guys. And if you want to answer it on the chat in Facebook Live, please do so. And as we're going through this step, this tradition, we will having problems with my microphone. Sorry, guys. As we're going through this tradition, we'll read them off. So tradition 10, I'm going to read the short version.
All right.
Beth is going to read the long version. And then we're going to close the show and we're going to say goodnight.
Get my soapbox about this one.
I'm kidding. Tradition 10, Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues. Hence, the AA name ought never to be drawn into public controversy. So what do you have in the big book?
Okay, on page 565, it says 10, no AA group or member should ever, in such a way as to implicate AA, express an opinion on outside controversial issues, particularly those of politics, alcohol reform, or sectarian religion, which is another way of saying Protestant.
Well, I want to read the definition. That's what I'm trying to find here.
All right, I'll finish this. The Alcoholics Anonymous groups oppose no one. Concerning such matters, they can express no views whatever. Period.
End of story. So
Right.
that is, I can't even get into this now. Sectarian is, I don't even know how to get into this. Anyways.
It basically means Protestant. Anything that is like
a group or somebody, a gathering, a sector of something. It means that a gathering, I guess, is the best way to explain it. If we're wrong, guys, let us know. If you know the definition, but we'll be 3 shows deep by then. We won't even give a shit about this show anymore.
nobody's ever see this.
Exactly. So I'm going to just give my opinion.
Okay.
And it's an outside opinion. So AA really doesn't give a shit about my opinion, but I'm going to give it anyways, because we're doing the traditions. So Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues. Hence the AA name ought never to be drawn into public controversy. I understand why they say that, Beth. I really do, because politically, if you think about it, what if all the Republicans went to that meeting, all the Democrats went to that meeting, all the, blah, blah, blahs went to this one, and so on and so forth? We would really pin each other against each other. Then it would become, right?
Yeah, and also, if like a Democrat went to a Republican meeting, you may scare them away from AA forever.
Yeah, absolutely. So I get that piece, and that's how I see this step. I think I mean this tradition that and also we shouldn't even the name ought never be drawn to public controversy, because we're here to help people. This is a helping program, so we shouldn't be involved in AA started a riot and in the streets of blah blah blah, whatever. None of that stuff, or even let's even go this way with it, Beth. AA is a great program. Everybody who's an alcoholic and addict, go to the meeting. That is, they don't even want that, because right. The reason being is that if you're going to swing one way or the other, you have to give the other side their views.
Yep.
And AA is not willing to do that, right? Nope. To pull anything in public controversy or give a label, not giving AA a label, basically. That's what I see on that. What's your thoughts on it?
I got to tell you, man, we've been dealing with outside issues in AA for a million years.
Yeah.
And thank God for this tradition, because in the 90s, it was antidepressants was an outside issue.
Yeah.
AA wanted to have an opinion about if you were sober or you're not sober, if you're taking Wellbutrin or Paxil or whatever the SSRI or whatever antidepressant that your psychiatrist put you on. People had opinions on whether you were sober or not. And I remember this old timer, basically, this was my very first impactful interaction with the 11th tradition or 10th tradition. This old timer stands up and he's like, if you're not a psychiatrist, shut the fuck up.
I love that.
Like if you are, and even if you are a psychiatrist,
shut the fuck up.
It's not where we discuss those issues.
Yes.
We have one purpose in any 12-step fellowship, which is to help others get and stay sober.
That is it.
So anything above and beyond that. Now, I'll tell you, for years and years, it never really was an issue until I think it was the 2016 election, the presidential election.
Yeah.
It was 16, right?
16, yes.
So, and with that whole thing, I watched the entire population of AA keep their mouth shut because all understood that this is a life and death matter that we hear every single morning at 7 a.m. This was my home group. And you could see visceral reactions on the day after election day. And you could see, but not one person in my home group, and there was like 40 or 50 people.
Wow.
Not one person said anything
That's
why they were upset. They shared that they were upset.
Yeah.
Or they shared that they were happy, but they kept it general enough.
It wasn't an opinion.
Right. And then the same thing came up with when COVID, right? So 2020 happens. We all get put, literally, the government puts us in lockdown. You're not leaving your house. It's easy. Sit and piss and moan and complain and bitch about why you're in the situation you are. But the only way to truly grow spiritually is to talk about how you feel being in the situation.
Yeah. Live in the solution, not the problem.
Live in the solution. Right. And I think that's why I only go to solution-based meetings, is because I'm and I will start to mimic what I surround myself with. And I find that a lot of people that I have encountered in 12-step are the same way, whether they admit it or not. And I only go to solution-based environments, whether it's work, whether it's home, whether it's whatever. We start looking at outside issues in any way, shape, or form. We start talking about problem.
I agree with you. And then you don't go to that meeting because that's not my problem. I don't want to be there. I don't want to hear them bitch about that. Whatever it is, should daycare be in AA? I don't know, whatever it is, politics, whatever whatever they, and I get it. The other thing too, guys, is we're a bunch of drunks. That's all we are. We're just a bunch of drunks that are staying sober. And you hit it right on the head. AA does one thing, is keep people sober. And no, I shouldn't even say that. AA does not even keep people sober. You can come to a meeting if you're using. Just don't cause any problems. You have to have a desire to stop drinking. That's membership.
Yep.
You can be drinking, but if you have a desire to walk into that meeting and see what all this is about, to stop drinking, welcome, my brother, welcome, my sister. That is it. That's how this happens. And it's pretty simple, but I guess just like any rule or any law that comes out, this must somewhere along the road must have been like the early days. Politics might have been pulled in, or obviously, MAT or whatever. That wasn't way back when, but psych drugs probably, stuff like that. So they probably said, let's stop talking about this and let's do a tradition. That would be my guess. I don't know. I know nothing about this step, everybody, just to let you guys know.
Well, what's really interesting is that there were two other versions of programs that tried to help people get and stay sober. One was obviously the Oxford groups, which disbanded. I forget what the particular issue was that they disbanded over, but I believe it was an outside issue.
Okay.
That's what it was. So the Oxford groups were overtly Christian.
Okay.
Christian. It was a Christian group. And one of the things that they did was help alcoholics get sober. But before that, I think it was before that, there was this program called the Washingtonians. They were actually up and running, and they were doing good work, and they were helping people get sober, and they were like moving in the right direction. And then I don't remember what the specific political issue was, but they decided to band together and support a political movement, which was ultimately doing.
Yeah.
That Bill Wilson was really looking at. Was really looking at the whole. I mean, he had this ability to look at the big picture, what was going to dismantle. Also, don't forget that the big book was written in 32 or 34?
35, I think 35, somewhere around there, yeah.
Right. So, and Bill Wilson wrote the big book in the 30s here in New Jersey, and it went to the first 100 alcoholics, and they they went through it 100 times and back and forth. And you can get those, by the way. You can get copies of the manuscripts with all the notes.
Just to let you know, before you go further, I held the original copies of one, from the retreat in Minnesota. Tiffany and I, who used to be on the show with us, Tiff, we got to hold, I forgot what chapter it was, but it was Bill's handwriting on legal paper. And we had Dr. Bob's ring on, and I'll put pictures up I'll put pictures up in Facebook for everybody, and you guys take a look at Facebook. But sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. You keep going, because I'm out of words for this one.
I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, so don't forget that the big book was written in the 30s. The tradition didn't come out until the 50s.
Oh,
either 50 or 55.
Okay.
The information that I was given, and I don't remember who gave it, and I'm not sure if it was Barefoot Bill or Chris Schroeder or somebody else. But the only reason Bill wrote essays on the 12 steps was so that people would purchase the book, which was introducing at the first international, I think it was the first international conference, the 12 traditions of AA. Those didn't come out until 50 or 55. So, they had some experience.
Mm-hmm.
Read the 12 and 12. It talks about, so Rule 62. I always listen. I got sober at 17, so I feel like I was raised in AA. I thought the whole world understood that Rule 62 meant don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
But apparently no, it's just AA, and only
it's just us. It's just our secret handshake.
Our secret handshake. So I've said, Rule 62 in like mixed company, like A, non-AA, are like, fuck are you talking about? So yeah.
Yeah. And you're right. We can't take ourselves too seriously, but we also have to protect ourselves. And that's what each one of these traditions do. And they really, it's amazing how it surrounds us as AA in meetings. Every tradition surrounds us and keeps us safe inside of our meetings and of our of whatever we do as far as AA goes. And it's just and again, they're simple. I come on here and say I don't know much about it. Traditions. I never read a tradition until we started doing this whole this whole thing throughout I know the traditions when they read them in the meetings, but I never had to understand what it is. But more and more you read into it, and like you were talking off there about MAT, like that, outside issues. So basically what I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, and send me an email if I'm wrong. Keep your mouth shut when you're in a meeting if you're on MAT or anything like that, because it doesn't belong in AA, right? Is that true? Is that what is? Because then AA is going to say, well,
that's a really interesting question,
right?
Because it's like there's this whole movement, right, in the 20s of like 2020 and I guess late 10s where recover out loud.
Yeah,
you shouldn't be. I would say, I don't know. I mean, there's no reason to bring up the topic of MAT.
Nope.
Because it's not about recovery, right? There's a recovery process. This is what we're talking about. The solution.
The solution, yes. Yeah.
But if somebody, listen, I'm very open about who I am, and I'm on an antidepressant and an anti-anxiety medication. They're SSRIs. I did everything I could till I had about 9 years sober. And, I did the physical route. I did the diet route. I did, you know what I mean? Like I did my due diligence, not that it's anybody's business.
No.
Then I decided to go on an SSRI for depression. And then kids, I wound up needing an SSRI for anxiety because, children.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. This is my brain chemistry. But
it's kids too. Believe me, I have 5 of them. They pick you up.
But it's like, is that an outside issue? Yes.
Of course it is.
Am I open about that outside of a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous? 100%.
Yeah.
Why? Because we have to meet people where they're at. But when I'm in a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous, I'm talking about the solution that comes from this book. And another great issue to the MAT is it says in the book that we rely on doctors and psychiatrists to do what we've hired them.
Exactly. And remember, guys, our sponsor is not a doctor. He's not a psychiatrist. He's not a therapist. He's none of that stuff. And that's the other piece of it, because these sponsors can become like this God almost. and you don't, and I've heard it before. Don't use any antidepressants. Do not take this medication. Do not. I was floored when I heard these conversations, because unless you're a doctor, and even if you're not a doctor, you don't know that person's situation inside and out like a psychiatrist would.
Right.
I and you're right. Bringing all this stuff into AA, we just focus on the solutions, and I think and it just goes much better as far as that goes. So
even with sponsorship, first of all, anybody that we all put our sponsors on a pedestal. Don't get me wrong. My sponsor's been my sponsor for over 20 years. I still put her on a pedestal, but we do not hold our sponsor responsible for our recovery, right? 12-step model says that the only thing between me and a drink is God.
Yeah.
So there's that. And even if your sponsor is like a top-rated psychiatrist, it's not a professional relationship.
That's right.
The efficacy of that person being able to diagnose and medicate or prescribe medication is lost, because there is a personal commitment, common problem, common solution.
Yeah.
If your sponsor is a psychiatrist, they shouldn't be prescribing your medication. I mean, there's going to be some sort of weird ethical issue, even. Yeah,
a little weird. Yeah, so I agree.
Go see one.
Yeah. Yeah. And guys, we are not giving medical advice on here. I want to state that we're not giving medical advice. We're not doctors. We don't even, we can't even run our own lives, let alone giving you guys advice. Right. So, when in doubt, call somebody. When in doubt, go to your doctor, whatever it is. We are not here to tell you guys how to do things, what you should and shouldn't take. It's individually up to you. Just like this Tradition 10. I don't pull outside issues into me. I don't bring things into my life that I don't want, or that's not going to serve me good purpose. So that's what Tradition 10 is doing. And that's kind of what I do in my life. It's like, it's none of my business what you do, Beth. I know, and it's none of your business what I do. If we sit here and talk about it and we're okay with back and forth, hey, I do this, I have this, I'm on Wellbutrin, whatever, it's cool, But who am I to say? And I'm not even going to get political, so I'm not going to go that route, because we can get political here. But who am I to say about anything? Anybody who wants to come into the rooms, Alcoholics Anonymous, anybody who, black, white, straight, gay, whatever it is, you're welcome. And what tradition was that? I love that tradition because everybody was welcome. Oh, the
requirement for AA membership.
Yeah, the AA membership is just wanting to stop drinking. So.
And you'll even get right. And I think one of the other reasons why this tradition is so needed is because you'll literally get the people who will split hairs and tell you, and I'm probably one of them, that it's supposed to be an honest desire to stop drinking.
Yeah.
So you have some people that will pull the desire to stop drinking, and some people that'll argue, because that's what we're great at. It's honest desire. And what does that mean? And where's the line? How about there's no line? How about the fact that in the 10th step, it says love and tolerance of others is our code?
Exactly.
How about meeting people where they're at, no matter what?
Yeah.
And how about keeping your nose out of other people's business and being of service instead of making a judgment?
That's right. When
judgment, discernment.
Yeah. So when the hand of AA is reaching out, you have to reach back. That's it. It's simple, But the other thing too is, it's always said this way: don't vomit in an AA meeting, right? Save that for your sponsor. Don't spew out everything in an AA meeting. So that stuff, some of that stuff that you and I were talking about earlier, that's a conversation for me and my sponsor. The rooms, and for me anyways, this is my opinion, nobody else's opinion. For me, for the rooms, when I go to the rooms, I kind of say what's bothering me, or I talk about the topic, how it might relate to my life, or the step, whatever it is. I never vomit in the AA. Now, some people do because they don't have a sponsor. There's a reason behind it. They're not working the steps, They're
new.
They're new. Yeah, they don't know things. But see, I love that when they do that, when the new people are in there, because they got passion. It's real, because they don't know what AA is. They don't know how it works. They just want to come in there and get clean and sober. I think it's so great when a newcomer does that. And, it's just amazing. And then they get the understanding of how AA works.
But that's how it would be anywhere.
Yeah, right? True.
You have to learn the culture of something new. Like And let's face it, when we get sober, we're hightailing it in here on fire.
Absolutely. We're looking for somebody to put that fire out on our ass.
Fucking thing out, because I'm burning up over here.
That's right. That's right.
Love and tolerance of those people are like the utmost importance, right?
Is. Yeah.
And actually, it's really interesting. In the big book, it talks about meetings. I think in only one spot, it might be two, but in the one spot that I remember often, it says that they set aside one night a week for newcomers to bring their problems. And so the whole 90 and 90 thing actually didn't happen until the late 60s, and it came from the rehab industry. Where therapists that didn't understand the 12-step process said, well, 90 days to create a habit. You basically just manipulating people with addiction to get addicted to going to meetings. But that's a whole nother story. But that's what meetings are for, right? Meetings are for the newcomer. And my sponsor brought this to my attention because I was going to meetings for a while about 15 years ago where I was like, I'm not getting anything out of it. And she was like, you're not supposed to get anything out of it. You're supposed to bring something to it.
That's true.
Right? She's like, you've been through this process. Stop trying to take and start trying to give and see how that it totally shifted my perspective on recovery. Yet again, in AA, there's Beth late to the party. But, newcomers are the ones that are supposed to come with the most inappropriate, outrageous, tell us who they voted for and why. I got the vaccine, I didn't. Like, like that's their job. They're supposed to.
It is. And
talk about the process of what it looks like without
exactly. Exactly. And if you come on our Saturday morning 8 a.m. meetings, guys, you'll hear some of that. Not a lot, but we have a beginners meeting on Saturday mornings on Zoom, 8 a.m. and Bambi runs that meeting, and that's where that stuff happens. But I also I go to that meeting every week religiously. I'm at that meeting every week, right? Because I need to hear the newcomer. I need to hear them, kind of blab it out in the room and trying to find their direction, because number one, I don't ever want to be back there, and number two, I can still learn from that, right? I can still learn from that or I can also reach out, like you said. That's even better, is just to reach out and help somebody. Yeah. My sponsor, I know I told the story on the air before, but I don't know if you were here, but at the beginning of the year, I had some stomach issues last year, and beginning of the year, they were getting better. And we went on in January, we went on a camping trip, a winter camping trip in Stoke State Forest in New Jersey. It was 5 of us, I believe, all in recovery. Yeah. And it was cold. And, I was recovering from some stuff with my stomach and driving home. I lived in Cape May at the time, 3-hour drive down, and I started getting in my head, blah, 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 so I called my sponsor, Andy, my stomach hurts. Maybe I should go to the hospital. What do you think? He goes, Eddie, stop, get the fuck out of your head. That's what he said. He said, when was the last time you called your grandson? I'm like, what does that have to do with it? It gets you out of your mind. He said, have you called your grandson lately? Have you called your son lately? Have you reached out to another addict or alcoholic? Why are you on here telling me you have stomach issues? Why? I'm not that person to listen to that. Tell your fucking doctor. That's Mike. Mike knows my sponsor very well. And but that's the truth. I get off the phone. I cried, right, with him. I'm like, motherfucker, he's right. He's right. He's right. That stomach pain did not come back ever. Wow. Not come back ever, because it basically was in my head. And anytime I get in my head or I get squirrely or I have these phantom things, I call another alcoholic or addict and ask John L. That's on here. I will call him in the morning if I'm squirrely in my head, because he gets up early, and I got my go-to people, right? You have your go-to people too, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
So
I was texting with Elizabeth at like 7:00 this morning.
I know.
In my head.
It's just how it works, though. That's how it works. So, and I know that has nothing to do with Tradition 10, but because of Tradition 10, we're able to talk like that. We're able to work our program. We're able to call our sponsors. Our sponsors are able to tell us, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear what your recovery is about. Who'd you help today? That's what Tradition 10 and all these traditions in this book does for us. So, my look at the traditions, my look at like, they're not important. They're very important. Very, very important.
I think that tradition 10 is why your sponsor automatically says, why are you fucking telling me? Call your doctor.
Yep, exactly.
100%. Like, here's the line.
Yep.
Now, my sponsors share really kooky things about like herbs and stuff like that, like all the time. All the time. All the time. But it's not in the guise of this is about your sobriety.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
We share a lot of things. Like me and Elizabeth talk politics all the time. We come from different sides of the aisle.
Yeah. Okay.
Politics all the time. You would never know that if you saw us at a meeting.
Yeah.
Never ever know that. I love talking about like how she perceives and how she sees things, and she does the same with me, and we're of like mind, and we're both in the solution, but we come from different. So it's amazing to have those kind of conversations. Yeah. But that's not about my recovery. That's a friendship.
Yes.
That's my friend.
Yeah.
So this is all in the spirit of tradition 10, in the fact that this is recovery and this is something else. And when it comes to my recovery, when I'm in my head and I call you, or if somebody calls you in crisis, like I'm not gonna say what side of the political scale is on, although probably everybody knows it. So there were two people running for president. If the guy I didn't like, viscerally didn't like, called me and was in crisis, I would be of service.
Of course.
I would be of service. Why? Because there's nothing more important than if I want the hand of AA to be there, I have to be that hand, right? That I am responsible.
Yep.
There is nothing that's going to bring me closer to my God and keep me sober than being of service.
Yeah. But don't forget, Beth, all those years ago, you reached out for AA's hand and it was there for you too.
It's always there for me.
Yep. Yeah.
When I moved to New Jersey, I don't do anything. I don't do change well.
Join the club.
No, Beth doesn't change well. I'm moving hopefully soon. And I'm moving down the street. I'm not moving even across town. I'm moving down the street and I'm losing my shit. Anyway, when I first moved back to New Jersey from North Carolina, I was in North Carolina for 7 years, moved back to New Jersey. My whole life fell apart. Went to a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous in my new town, and I shared openly and honest from my heart. And somebody told me, or somebody asked me, have you ever read the Big Book? And in my head, I'm like, fucking know who you're talking to? In my heart, I'm like, that's where I need to go back, and I need to go back into the solution.
Yeah. My sponsor always says, and this is part of tradition 10, my sponsor always says, if you're asking a question and it's not in a big book, don't fucking worry about it. Don't worry about it. If you can't find the question in the answer in the big book, we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about your fucking recovery. End the story. That's it.
Yeah. So. And I love that. I mean, if you think about it, the singleness of purpose is kept literally perfectly throughout the first 164 pages. There is nowhere, and I've tried to blow a hole through what Bill wrote.
Oh, no.
Until this point, I have not been able to. And let me tell you something. Everything I've read and been told about Bill Wilson, he was kind of a dick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what they said. Yeah.
The womanizer, and he was all about his pride and his ego and, all this other stuff. But that's why this 164 pages, like, it flowed from him, but I don't think it was of him. I think that, it even talks about, this blows my mind. I know this is off topic, but I got to say it.
No, good.
It talks about the fact that we are people that would normally not mix from all walks of life, all religions, all creeds, all socioeconomical backgrounds. That wasn't true when this book was written.
Really?
They were all middle-aged white men.
That's true. You're right. Yeah.
With a woman or two.
Yep.
Thrown in there that they 13-step, but it's like, dude, it was so serendipitous. It was so a vision because now, especially like in the Northeast, you walk in, you got a Muslim, you got a Jew, you got a Christian, you got people of color, you got sexual creed, orientation. We're all in here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And think about it. If this tradition wasn't around, that's outside issues. A gay guy can't come to my meeting. Well, that's not true. That's step 10. The gay guy can come to my meeting. A guy with no hair can't come to my yeah. I mean, this protects all of us.
You'd be screwed.
I would be screwed. Not the gay part. I'm not gay.
The bald part. I was no hair.
You got no hair. Yes, exactly. So, but no, and we have to love everybody equally. We have to understand that this help that was freely given to us by God through Bill and the founding members of AA, we need to pass it on no matter anybody who's suffering. And there should be nothing that would stop us as long as we're staying in the solution and staying with AA as our issue. And and that's what happens. And you're right. A lot of these groups before AA broke up because of political political sides,
something outside of the box.
Yep.
Outside of our singleness of purpose is so important.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Beth, I think we did a good job on this. I know we rambled and went off the topic a little bit, but it all came back. Yeah, it all came back.
Love it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and kind of sticking with us. We appreciate you, Super Beth. She's got her name. And thank you for really stepping up today and filling Bambi's shoes too, because we both had to do that.
Feel better, Bambi. We should have given her a shout out. What is wrong with us?
I don't know. I have to call my sponsor. I haven't called them in 3 days. So.
Here's a late shout out to the beautiful buck-eyed Bambi.
Yes.
Who is clearly, after this show, been proven to be the glue that binds us together.
That is true. We now you experienced the history of Friends in Recovery podcast, that we are held together by Bambi.
I concur.
Well, guys, that is all we have on Tradition 10. So look for us next week. We're going to start step 11. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. And I know I shouldn't be future tripping, but I can't wait for December 31st to get all this done and over with, because all I do is think about the steps, study the steps, read the steps, talk the steps, watch podcasts about the steps, because when I come on here, I want to be informed. So I can't wait to get a guest on here in January, so I don't have to say anything but, so how do you feel about that? Oh, yes. Okay. Tell me about this. That was so much easier when I was interviewing people. So Yeah. But that's all we got, guys. We'll talk to you next week, and stay sober, everybody.
This concludes this episode of Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast. Follow us on Facebook for past shows and updates, and enjoy free access to twice daily support meetings. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.